Hi, and welcome to PGA HOPE Panel, hosted by the ViacomCBS Veterans Network. I'm Kelly Tilghman. It's great to be with you. Our goal today, and the goal of PGA HOPE every day, is to shine a light on our veterans through this great game of golf, to celebrate the good of the game and its positive impact on these brave men and women. PGA HOPE stands for what? Helping our patriots everywhere, giving them hope. It's part of the PGA of America's flagship engagement program called PGA Reach. PGA HOPE is a free, adaptive program that introduces veterans with disabilities to the game of golf to enhance their physical, mental, social, and emotional well-being. If you are someone interested in learning more about this program or one of these brave veterans who'd like to be involved in some way, you can do so today at pgahope.org. Also, next week, the ViacomCBS Veterans Network airs a special called Mental Health in the Military Community in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. That is next Tuesday, May 18th at 6:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m., by the way. Today, we have a handful of special guests who can tell you more about PGA HOPE, and one military guest in particular who took his talents all the way to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour. Before we get to him, I'd like to share some of my own personal experiences with veterans. I'm the daughter of a Citadel graduate in the Charleston area where the PGA Championship will be held in the coming days. And he's an Army captain as well. Proud of him. My father, Phil Tilghman, often reflects on his military service and is one of the best friends today, one of his fellow soldiers. But with many of his Citadel classmates, the bonds are very deep there. Also, in 2008, I had the privilege of joining a group of golfers on a USO trip into the war zone of Iraq. From places like Balad to Baghdad, we brought golf to the troops, entertaining America's bravest with long drives, some of them longer than mine, obviously, trick shots, and special gifts from home. We wanted them just to feel like a piece of home was there with them. We did everything we could. All the while, we were very much aware that there was war going on around us, but we felt safe in their company. Navigating the terrain and the ever-changing logistics gave me incredible perspective and respect, deep respect for what our troops endure. I've also had the honor of playing golf with many wounded vets through various foundation efforts. I was able to meet heroes like Brendan Morocco, who tragically lost both arms and both legs on Easter Sunday of 2009 while serving in the Middle East. I was also fortunate to become friends with the 2011 Medal of Honor recipient, Leroy Petrie, who lost his right hand in 2008 while saving his Army Ranger unit under attack in Afghanistan. He's a born leader with a great sense of awareness and strong perspective on how to stay positive moving forward. And that is very tough for so many of these men and women to do. These people find a way through the game or through people they've met in the game of golf to cope and connect with others who endured a similar fate. In my career, I was also lucky enough to call the great Arnold Palmer a friend. He served in the Coast Guard, as many of us know, before unleashing his talents on the world of golf. Who are some of the other legends in the game, like Arnold Palmer, to serve their country? Well, fellow Hall of Fame members, Bobby Jones, Ben Hogan, and the feisty Patty Berg, who was lieutenant in the Marine Corps during World War II. And on that note, we are ready to welcome our first guest, another military veteran and accomplished golfer, PGA Tour winner Billy Hurley III. He is a graduate of the Naval Academy with a degree in quantitative economics. He rose to the rank of Navy lieutenant while actively serving his country from 2004 after graduation all the way to 2009. And that duty included an extended deployment to the Persian Gulf, where he was a force protection assistant on a guided missile destroyer. Billy Hurley III, it's great to have you with us and to hear your perspective. It's great to see you. And I want to start with your big moment at the 2016 Quicken Loans National at Congressional Country Club in Bethesda, just outside of our nation's capital. So fitting, not too far from your Navy alma mater, and the place that you now call home with your family, your beautiful family, Annapolis, Maryland. You couldn't have scripted that much better, Billy. What are your favorite memories from that week?
Oh, wow. You know, you said it right, Kelly. You couldn't have scripted it. You couldn't have written that story as far as how it unfolded for me and my family. And so I think my probably one of my favorite memories was obviously they just showed the chip in there on 15 as you were speaking, and that was probably the loudest that I've ever experienced on a golf course when that ball disappeared into the hole there. And it was so loud that I was playing with Ernie Els in the final group that day, and Ernie was trying to get my attention just to say good shot, and he took him like 3 times saying my name, yelling Billy, because it was I couldn't actually hear him, and I was kind of blacked out there for a minute, and kind of trying to refocus to finish the last 3 holes off. But that was certainly the shot that changed the tournament, the shot that, pretty much won the tournament for me, going from clinging to a 1-shot lead to then having a 2-shot lead and ultimately winning by 3.
I remember years ago, maybe you do as well, interviewing you along the shores of Honolulu at Waialae Country Club when you made your first start as a PGA Tour member in Hawaii.
I do. Yeah, I
Yep,
remember that.
just a stone's throw, Billy, you remember from where you served on the USS Chung Hoon at Pearl Harbor in your Navy days. What were those emotions like for you that week, knowing that area meant so much more to you than just a place to play golf?
Well, going back to the Sony's always been one of our favorite stops because we lived there for 2 years, because we served there in Pearl Harbor, and to, kind of have that be, what at that time, maybe was one of the last couple years that the Sony was the first event, first full field event of the season. So kind of first start as a PGA Tour member, was kind of a homecoming, a fitting place as well. That's where I finished my active duty service, was finishing up there in Pearl Harbor off of the USS Chung Hoon. And as you were rattling off many of the dates that you were talking about with your experience with USO trips and some folks you've met that way, those were the dates I was in the Persian Gulf. 2007, 2009, was in the Persian Gulf, was in the Red Sea, kind of doing the mission over there. So all that kind of comes back when we talk about this.
Well, it's nice to share that little piece of history with you in some distant way. What was your time like when you were in the Naval Academy and in the active service? How was life so different than it is today?
Well, at the Naval Academy, I didn't have time to breathe hardly. It was we should rename the Naval Academy Time Management University, because it's just about how you manage your time and how you get everything done, or get the most important things done. You maybe get 80% of it actually done because there's so much to do. But for me at the academy, I immersed myself in golf. I mean, obviously I did everything that I had to do academically and militarily, but golf and the golf team became my escape, and a little bit of, a way to get away, so to speak, from the rigor and from the, stresses of the academy, and not just academically, but, with, especially my first couple years, with upperclassmen yelling at you and making you do all the extra stuff you have to do as a freshman there. So that's what I remember most about the Naval Academy, is just, really not doing much else other than school and golf. Like, that was kind of my thing. And it, ultimately it helped me, I think, get to where I am today, having a bit more discipline in practicing and making the most of every little piece of time that I could.
Yeah, and as far as active service is concerned, you referenced some of the places that you served, including in the Persian Gulf. Just curious what you take from those experiences, what moment or series of moments stands out the most for you?
I think the biggest thing that I take away from the Naval Academy, but more so from active duty, is the sense of camaraderie. There's nothing like 300 guys and gals on a United States destroyer, working for a common mission, and everybody doing their little piece of the puzzle. Everybody doing, the next thing that has to be done for the overall mission of the ship to get accomplished. And everybody from the most junior person on the ship who's been there for 3 minutes to the captain who's been in the Navy, 18, 19, 20 years, has a piece of that puzzle to play. And the bonds that you form doing that, the camaraderie that exists, it's really unmatched, that I've found in the world and in any other career field, in any other place. And so, some of my best friends today are people that I served with.
I love that. Just like my dad. I love that. You have the Billy Hurley III Foundation, which supports military families. You work very hard on that with your family as well. Tell us about your mission there and how you go about fulfilling it.
Well, so we took a look out of the landscape of veteran and military organizations and decided to do something that was based on our experience in the military. And so you said it, Kelly. We are at the Billy Hurley III Foundation. We're about the family unit, the entire family, not just the service member, recognizing that the entire family is actually in the military. The entire family is actually affected by deployment schedules and the stresses of serving on active duty. And so when we were in the military, when I went to Chung Hoon, when I was deployed, my wife was at home with a 6-month-old, a 1-year-old. As we went through that last ship, we had our first child, and so she was at home pretty much a single mom. And so we've kind of out of that experience said, all right, what can we do to assist the families, to assist the entire, family unit? So we're focused on a number of different things. One of the biggest ones is education. We do some scholarship stuff around dependence. So again, not for the service member directly, but for the family members. So whether that's spouses or dependent children. And then we do some experiences. We try and give active duty members experiences that they might not otherwise be able to afford to do. Certainly being on the PGA Tour and the things that we get to do, as you know, Kelly, traveling around the country and seeing, a ton of different places, and having our families treated better than any human really deserves to be treated in the world, because somehow people think we're cool enough to play golf on TV. But the so I've always said there's 2 ways to have a guy play a tournament. It's have one of the best golf courses in the world, or do so much for the families that your wife says you're not missing that tournament. And so my family's been able to have a whole bunch of these experiences, behind the scenes tours of places and that kind of stuff. So we try and extend some of those types of experiences to service members and their families, again, keeping the entire family unit as our mission.
Yeah, you're really highlighting and underlining and bold printing the phrase military family in just about every way. I know that you're familiar with PGA HOPE, Billy, and I know that you're going to be interested to hear what the rest of our panel has to say as we continue on here with our special. I can't thank you enough for taking time to share your wonderful stories and for all the work you're doing for military families. Best of luck going forward.
Thanks, Kelly.
All right, well, next up, we have a panel of experts, as said, coming your way to talk more about PGA HOPE. Hopefully you're intrigued and want to know more about it. But before we do that, let's hear from one of the greatest to ever pick up a club.
Across the United States, brave men and women have answered the call. They have sacrificed, and they have done their duty honorably. Now, as they return home, it's our duty to look after them. Our mission as Americans must be to ensure their continued support and well-being. We are here for you as you've always been here for us.
My PTSD when I came home in 2010 was pretty bad. Now you come into civilian life and there's so much disorder, so much chaos. I didn't have an outlet. The one thing that we're missing in civilian life, where do we fit in again?
It takes a nation to heal a veteran, and that's what PGA of America is doing with the HOPE program. And it's life-changing not only because we're providing golf, but we're using it as a therapy, and that's what PGA of America is doing with the HOPE program.
They're battling inner demons that we hope that maybe we can help erase it for a time, forever, but maybe just for the couple hours they're on the golf course, that maybe that gives them a little bit of time away from the things that they're battling inside.
You know, this little thing is the most frustrating thing you have ever met. But when you hit it the right way, it's amazing.
The program that they've signed up for is a 6-week adaptive golf program, you know, healing through golf.
Belonging to something more than you, that's our safety zone. We can just be ourselves. And now we have a team. It doesn't matter where you served. If you wore the uniform, they want to help you. It's a sport that keeps us healthy, that keeps us focused, and that gives us a place to belong.
It takes a nation to heal our veterans. Now it's our turn to fight for you, to offer every chance for a healthy and successful life. Thank you to our veterans for your service. You make us all so proud.
I'm having so much fun now, and I am really enjoying my life.
There we go. Sometimes things happen. This is the beauty of Zoom and podcasts, but it's great to be with you again. Feeling like you belong, feeling like you have somewhere to go. It is so incredibly important when, you know, you've lost someone or you've lost something, or maybe a literal part of you or a figurative part of you in the heart of battle or in serving your country. And here to talk about that, we have an esteemed panel that's going to help you understand more what they're trying to do at PGA HOPE. Brandy Cain, the program lead at PGA HOPE with a wealth of experience in nonprofit work for wounded vets and their families. A proud Marine, Chris Nowak. He's the military and veteran liaison of PGA HOPE. Judy Alvarez is the lead national trainer of PGA HOPE and proud member of the PGA of America. And Rich Jones is the Executive Vice President and General Tax Counsel of ViacomCBS and the Chief Veteran Officer of the ViacomCBS Veterans Network, who bravely served as an Army Ranger. What a panel, and I have so many questions for all of you. Why don't we begin with this, though, letting our viewers know that they can submit a question for our panel by using the comment box on YouTube, and we will feature some of them toward the end of the program. And we'd also like to get rolling here by asking everyone on the panel about your respective relationship to the military, with the military, and how it has shaped who you are. Chris, why don't we start with you?
Oh, sure. Thank you, Kelly. And first of all, thank CBS Viacom for allowing us to talk about HOPE and how PGA of America is using the game of golf as a therapeutic intervention to help veterans in the healing process. I served 6 years in the Marine Corps. I was what your viewers will call a crayon eater. I was an infantry in the United States Marine Corps. I was a grunt. I received a gunshot wound during training, which resulted in the amputation of my leg below the knee. Then worked for the Department of Veterans Affairs and then came to PGA and got involved in this great program from the beginning. And just using golf in my own rehab process as well as helping other veterans find their way forward.
Thank you so much for your service, Chris. Brandy, I know that you're trying to do big things with this program that is already off to a great start. Tell us more about your relationship to the military and how it shaped who you are.
Sure. I am the proud granddaughter of a World War II veteran and the spouse of a U.S. Army reservist. Rich will appreciate that my husband was stationed at Fort Bragg, home of the 82nd Airborne Division. And we met when he was stationed there in 2013. He actually just came home from a deployment in April of 2020. And I'm really proud and honored to be a part of the PGA and to see how golf can and will shape the future of those who serve our country.
Oh, great. Judy, how about yourself? Judy Alvarez, would you like to share your story with us?
Can you hear me?
I do.
Okay, cool. Thanks for doing this. And hi, everybody. Navy runs through our family, honestly, and I personally have not served. But I realized a long time ago in the early part of my career that the game of golf can be used as a therapeutic tool to help people overcome life's adversities. And since 1994, if I'm aging myself, that's when I got involved. And then in 2007, I got involved with the PGA to be the national trainer, go around the country and hopefully share with the PGA pros what they can do to give back to our veterans once they go through training and give back to the program.
And finally, Rich, I'm looking forward to hearing your story as well.
No, Kelly, thank you. And I just want to thank everyone. This is such a wonderful event. As I said earlier, everything that we do, we try to honor President Lincoln's word, to care for those who have borne the battle. And I think for those, everyone has shared their story of their service and how their military service shaped them. I come from a military family. My father was a Vietnam veteran. My both grandfathers were served in World War II. My grandmother was a Navy officer, nurse at the Brooklyn Naval Yard. And I had the great honor to serve for 6 years as an Army Ranger. Unfortunately, my career was cut short. I had a catastrophic injury and was medically retired from the service. But like all good things, and what this group does, find people who are broken and give them a purpose in life. So here I am going from that to being here to be able to leverage the great people and resources that we have within ViacomCBS, especially CBS Sports and the PGA. What an amazing opportunity. So just wonderful stuff.
Yeah, your perseverance, your strength, your positivity are certainly something to be commended, Rich. Thank you for sharing that. Brandy, I want to circle back to you. PGA HOPE, we're just kind of scratching the surface here. Can you describe more deeply the cause, what it is, and how you spread the word so people know more about these programs?
Sure. So the PGA HOPE program has an MOU with the VA. And so the VA can refer veterans to participate in a PGA HOPE program around the United States. And so the veterans participate alongside a PGA professional, learning everything from a grip all the way to 9 holes at the completion of their 6 to 8 week course, alongside someone who knows and loves the game. And what a better person to be able to teach them the game than someone who is a PGA member. And all of this is provided at no cost to the veteran. And we truly have seen the program grow over the years. Last year, we served almost 1,200 veterans across 54 locations around the country. So we're really looking to, again, achieve amazing things this year and connect more veterans with these professionals who can show them how to do it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful concept. And Judy, I think that segues beautifully to what you have done, helping to establish 6 PGA HOPE programs. in South Florida alone. Can you explain what you've witnessed and the importance of having these veterans join a community?
Wow, I don't think we have enough time, but when we started the program in South Florida in 2015, Donna White, LPGA retired tour player, and Dave McNulty, we hooked up with the RT Eileen from the VA hospital in West Palm Beach, along with the PGA section and a local range. And we said that we're going to put together a program. We got the support from everybody, and we started our first program. I think we had 15 people, 15 veterans, and we have never looked back. And currently, I think we're over 8 programs, and we've helped over 100 to 200 veterans. And it's been the most inspiring thing to watch. When you hear a veteran say that this is the highlight of my week, I cannot wait to go to a PGA HOPE program. First of all, it's heartfelt that I hear that a veteran says that this is a 2-hour program and that's the highlight of their week. So I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to offer these programs, not only in our section, but across the country to other veterans. And the neatest part, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I thought you were wrapping your thought there, but I want you to finish it. I'm curious, of all the veterans you've interacted with in this capacity, maybe the moment that stands out the most, was there a touching moment or a pivotal moment? I'm sure you've been a part of so many of them.
Yes, some I will probably keep to myself. Others, for example, Mary, who's become our ambassador in the South Florida section, she says that there isn't anything else that I'd rather be doing than playing the game of golf. I saw herself and another veteran sitting in a golf cart in the middle of the fairway. We were playing in a scramble, and they just sat there while I had moved on to the green. I turned around and went back to see. I thought that their cart had broken. Had a flat tire or something. And turns out it wasn't a flat tire. It was just a beautiful day. And they were just having a great time being outside in the fresh air. So, sometimes just getting a veteran who's dealing with PTSD out of their house to a beautiful, luscious golf course can be mind-boggling to them and rewarding to everybody else. The other statement that always stuck with me was that a veteran who had lost both legs was in the middle of his backswing in a wheelchair. And he said, this is the greatest thing that's happened to me in a long time because I'm dealing with suicidal thoughts. And he goes, thank you so much for putting on this program. So those are just 2 touching moments. There's many, many more.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. You touched on a very, very important subject, and one that is not talked about enough. In fact, it's hidden often by those who are struggling with it, and it's called PTSD. Chris, you lost a leg in a training incident while serving your country. You understand some of the rigors that many of these people are facing when they go through PTSD, when they suffer severe loss. You've come through very, very nicely in your situation. What is it like for wounded veterans to make this transition back to civilian life? I'd like for you to share your story as well.
Sure. What we're doing with the HOPE program is we're giving veterans an opportunity to rehab through the game of golf. And we'll just talk about PTSD right now in reference to that. So our ultimate goal in this is to teach the veteran the game of golf. And during that process, we want to give them what we call a moment in time. Better than anybody that what's the one thing you need to think about before hitting the golf ball? Nothing. So if we can give that veteran that thought process to think about nothing, and they go out and play 18 holes, and let's just say they shoot a 104, that's 104 moments in time in that veteran's day that they're not reliving, experiencing, or dealing with the trauma that they've been dealing with for a long time. And golf gives them that outlet. So then what happens is, so there's 104 moments in time. Then they start developing pre-shot rituals. So there's another moment in time that's added on to that 104 moments in time. Or they get sitting in the middle of a fairway, talking to whoever they're riding in the cart with, as Judy just shared with you. So we're using the game of golf as a modality to help veterans, whether dealing with limb loss like myself and PTSD, that moment in time to focus on something else other than the trauma they've experienced and the trauma that they're dealing with daily. And that's what's so great about this game. And there's countless stories about veterans who have said this game has saved their lives and has given them the opportunity to experience more in life. Often when we play the game of golf, you get paired up with strangers. What better way to get acclimated and get back into society than having to play around the golf with two people that you may not know or may not know well, but using golf as that modality, using golf as the gateway into your rehab process. The next thing you know, you're going to the grocery store with your significant other. You're going to a crowded mall because you've done this at the golf course. You're getting ready to start. You're crowded by a bunch of people getting ready to golf, and everybody wants to get anxious. The first tee box backed up. We're giving veterans these life skills through the game of golf.
Rick, you mentioned your own loss earlier in the show when you were telling your story. I'd be curious to see how you feel off this conversation started by Chris here, because it's just what a beautiful thought, this modality, this positive distraction. Rich, I'm sure you're struck by that.
No, the most important thing is when especially there's so many aspects of loss that occur, even if you're just separating from service and reentering civilian life. So you start with that, and there's so many aspects of losing your identity as someone who served in the military, and all of the stresses that come with that, and then add on top of that you also have you have injury, or you could have whether that's physical, psychological. So having someone to get you out of that dark place, and again, there's an old saying that everybody needs someone in their life to give them the courage to be what they're meant to be. And I just think that this is, as Chris points out, being able to be around people who are positive to get you out of your own head, and it becomes an echo chamber and those dark places, and starts to help you focus on what's possible. That human connection. We all need to be loved, right? I think that's, this is an expression. It's basic stuff, and so it builds upon itself. And I think it just when you see people who have had that in their lives, you can see the straight line to success. And for so many that we need to reach out to, and how wonderful this program is to make them aware that here's a program that's free. It's you can get snapped into it, and you can get plugged into people who care for you, who can get you snapped in with all, whether it's medical care, friendship, education. You were mentioning, I'd love to hear more about the scholarships, but get back into the game, and help, life coaching, all of those things that help our brave men and women who are transitioning have a great life.
I think it's fabulous what you've done, Rich, starting the ViacomCBS Veterans Network. You saw something there, and you knew it was worthwhile. And look what you've done with this whole product. And you've, as you said, worked with so many veteran programs. I would love to hear your particular thoughts on what is so special about the PGA HOPE program compared to others.
Well, I would say, there are, it's the 1,000 points of light. And when I look at our ability through the company, we are able to leverage our great brands, our reach. And so particularly with this franchise, there's no greater franchise. Some may say it's the NFL. I would argue that PGA is right up there. And so the ability to connect with people, right, who, this is something that connects, and because that's more than half the battle, is getting the attention of people who, either the person who's in that dark place or needs help, or someone in their family or within their sphere, who can then take that information and get them snapped in. And so what's special about this is there are many things that people can do, but when you look at the ability to get out on a golf course, this is for many veterans who've never been on a golf course, never been to a country club, to be exposed to that experience, the beauty of the game, and just the people who are involved who can change your life. And I think that is something that's very special, and all the follow-up resources that are available. So it's not just, as Chris was saying, it's not just the game, but it's everything that is surrounding that, and then the follow-up. So I think that is what makes the PGA HOPE program so special, and it's something that will lead to further engagement that's going to change lives.
Yeah. And again, if you want to know more about PGA HOPE, you want to know right now, you can go to pgahope.org and learn all about it. Thank you for the gift of the visual medium of the ViacomCBS Veterans Network. Judy, I want to circle back to you because you're doing it through the written word as well as hands-on engagement with veterans on golf courses. You wrote a book called Broken Tees and Mended Hearts, A Life's Journey Serving Wounded Warriors and Injured Spirits. What have you learned through your experiences that you wanted to share with readers and now our viewers? What's the biggest message for you?
That anybody can do anything they want if they put their mind to it. And it doesn't matter, honestly, if somebody has a disability. I say that in a loving way. Everybody can do everything that you and I can do. They just might do it differently. And the stories are about people that came into my life that are still in my life. Maybe they just took one lesson and left, but they taught me something, and they left little nuggets of education and love every time they came for a lesson. And I realized that standing or sitting on one leg or two legs, and whether or not you can or you can't see, or you're swinging with one or two arms, that golf ball has no idea. Just like Raphael said in the video with Jack Nicklaus, the little golf ball, it could drive him crazy. And the ball doesn't know who's hitting it. So it's very powerful. And that's what I shared.
Yes. Please pick up a copy, Broken Tees and Mended Hearts, A Life's Journey Serving Wounded Warriors and Injured Spirits. Brandy, I'm curious, just the feedback you've gotten so far about PGA HOPE and where it's going from here.
Yeah, I think it's twofold. I've heard stories from our PGA members who are so excited and so honored, and their lives are greatly impacted by being able to teach and to share their talents and their time with those who have served our country. I've heard from PGA members who are themselves veterans who find meaningful connection in building that community with another veteran and being of service to them. I've heard from our training team who are equally just as excited to be able to teach our members about adaptive golf, about military cultural competency, and how they can best serve our program participants. And then I've heard from our program participants who are getting so much out of those moments and out of those lessons, and then turning around and applying them to everyday life. And I think that's what makes us most excited to get up every day and bring the game forward to a population who's done so much to ensure that regular everyday Americans can have the opportunity to even go on a golf course because we live in a free country. And so we're really looking forward to all the programs that we'll have this year. And if anyone would like to participate, they can visit the website or reach out to me personally, and we'll get you connected with a program. Judy and her team have trained the best of the best, and we want to make sure that veterans who want to participate are able to do so.
Yes, that's pgahope.org, and your email, bcain, CAIN, at pgahq.com if they want to get directly in touch with you. And I hope you'll be hearing from a lot of people. Rich, real quickly, I want to open the floor up to Q&A with our viewers in just a moment here. We have some questions awaiting our panel, but I want to let everybody know next Tuesday, May 18th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, ViacomCBS Veterans Network is hosting a panel discussion on mental health in the military community. If folks would like to RSVP, they can also do that in the comments box. Rich, how important is this show and why?
It's critical. The assumption that people make, it's easy when you see warriors who have physical injuries. But those who are suffering with the invisible wounds of war, we need to do everything we can to make sure that we reduce the stigma, to make sure that we are reaching out and helping people and the warrior population that is suffering. And you said it best, Kelly. It is something that is, whether you're looking at the suicide statistics, especially after a year of a pandemic, and you see it in the broader population, but very acutely within our military and veteran communities because of isolation. So making sure that we're raising awareness as to, that there are people here who are, want to connect with you. We love you. There's, tomorrow is going to be a better day and you're going to have a great life. So making sure that we're raising awareness is very important to us, because that is, if there's an area that our entire community is trying to make a bigger impact, it's with respect to mental health, and it comes at an important time, that this being the month that we raise that awareness.
Okay, thank you. Very well said. Certainly have made the note in the calendar. Let's open up to our viewers and take some of the questions for our panel. We'll begin with this one. What has been your most gratifying moment working with PGA HOPE? Chris, how about yourself, sir?
I would say my most gratifying moment is seeing veterans catching on to the game of golf. I caught on to golf later on in my life after my hockey days were over with, and just to see veterans just get it, and just how it impacts their life. I mean, I've been doing adaptive sports for a long time, did it for the VA, and I've never seen any sport like golf impact veterans so quickly. If you've ever played the game, you know exactly what it is. And it's that type A personality that takes to join an all volunteer service that then takes that type A personality into the game of golf, and just if you haven't played, just get out and try. That's my most.
Yeah, it's so true. But for those that have been in combat, it certainly puts in perspective what people say is a difficult game, right? I mean, they understand what difficult really is in the grand scheme of life. So hopefully they can relax a bit more on the golf course. You may have answered the next question, Chris, so maybe I'll round out to another person on the panel here. Someone wants to know what makes golf more distinct than any sports activity when it comes to mental wellness. Judy, how about yourself? What do you think?
Well, you would ask me that one.
Always got a good
what
answer.
makes golf so mentally challenging? Is that the question?
Yeah, what makes it more distinct than any sports activity when it comes to mental wellness?
It's funny. All the retired professional athletes say, I can't do football, or I can't do golf, or I can't do basketball or hockey anymore. I'm going to go play golf, because they think it's so easy. There's that silly little ball sitting on the grass. Why I should be able to hit that, and then I can turn pro in that sport. And that's not the case. Like Michael Jordan, sorry, Michael, he goes, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. He goes, it's a reactionary thing just to stand there and throw the basketball into the hoop. He goes, golf, man, that ball's just sitting there. He goes, this is so humbling and hard. So if you can overcome this and appreciate that you're never going to be better at it, and allow it to be, I think you'll have a good time. And I think that's one thing that's really attractive to the veterans, when they realize that, I'm going to make this happen. And it becomes challenging to them in a fun, soothing way where they can just forget everything else.
Yeah, and Brandy,
I hope that answers.
I think that's great. I think that's great, Judy. I couldn't agree more. Brandy, I'd love to hear from you on this, because you're kind of heading up this program for a spearheading program in golf, the PGA of America. So what is your take on that?
So actually, one of the first things that my husband wanted to do when he came home from deployment was go and golf with his friends. And I think about that, and I really think about, from a mental health perspective, one, you're outside, you're breathing fresh air, you're getting exercise in some form or fashion, right? But then there's also the social aspect of it, right? There's that network, that camaraderie, that friendship, that jeering that still happens in the military community. And I think you can see it across generations. Whether you served in Vietnam or post 9/11, or maybe you stayed stateside, that camaraderie and that friendship and that being able to open up in those moments, I don't think it's something that the game has to force. And when you're thinking about being out on the course with someone, it allows you to both have that quiet one-on-one time. And, as much counseling and therapy and anything else that you could go through, that kinship and that camaraderie that happens naturally is a gift that the game provides that we can never script.
Yep, totally agree. We have another question, very important burning question here from one of our viewers. Full disclosure, before we came up live here with you, we were talking about who might win at the ocean course at Kiowa Island at the PGA Championship. And Chris, you were at no shortage of expertise or opinions on this. So here's the question. Who do you think will win the PGA Championship in Kiowa? Chris, the stage is yours, my friend.
Well, I had Jon Rahm until Rory's most recent win. So I'm going to go with Rory and probably Jon Rahm pushing him. But I think smart money's on Rory. It's going to be a long ball required. Rory's won there before. But I still like Jon Rahm, but smart money's on Rory.
And why do you think Rahm's the guy? Because he hasn't won a major yet, and Rory's got a few of these.
I think Rahm's game is suited for this. He hits such a strong ball. A lot of wind on that course, called the Ocean Course for a reason. So I like his game for that course. I really do. I think that this is going to be when he breaks out. So that's my pick.
I'm writing it down. I am writing it down. Judy, back to you, my friend. What is your favorite aspect of the game of golf in teaching? Someone wants to know. Is it driving, putting? What is it?
Playing. Being on giving them a playing lesson, because that's reality. You go to the driving range and sure, then there's this black hole that sucks everybody up and puts them into the abyss, and then you wonder why I can't do it on the first hole. Or you teach them one motion on the driving range, and then you go to the first tee and you're like, well, who are you? Because that's not who I just worked with on the driving range. So I like being on the golf course. It's reality.
I like that answer. I know my young daughter prefers to hit balls over playing. I think getting out and playing is so good for you because you can get so lost on a practice tee just trying to figure out the secret when we all know you're never really going to find it.
Don't tell them that.
That's true. I don't want to steal any business away from you. Let's go to the next question here. What is a common misconception you see with veterans and wounded warriors? Rich, do you have an opinion on that one?
I think that many times there's a preconceived idea that we're very not multidimensional, and I think that the surprising thing is that the men and women who serve in our military are multidimensional, very very adaptable to things beyond blowing things up and kicking indoors. Chris is a 0311. I was an 11 Bravo, so I completely get that. I think that there's so much. I think there's probably two ends of that. One, on the veteran side, they are capable of so much more than they think, right? And then when given the opportunity, they excel, right? Case in point, look at Chris. We're both, door kickers. Some would say that we're knuckle draggers, but so on that side. So I think that this conception that's all that we can do, and when given an opportunity, we really have so many skills and have so much to offer.
Thank you for that. All right, last question. What can a civilian do to get help and get involved with PGA HOPE and PGA Reach? Or I should rephrase that. What can a civilian do to help, give help, and get involved with PGA HOPE and PGA Reach? Brandy?
Sure. So if they visit our website, pgahope.org, you'll see all the various sections who are participating and have a PGA HOPE program. You can get in touch with one of those or reach out to me, and we can share more information about the section lead for the HOPE program wherever they are.
Great. So that's web address pgahope.org, and Brandy's direct email address is bcain@pgahq.com. We hope we have struck a chord with someone here today, if not many people. So many great messages sent, and so many more to come, I am sure. I can't thank the panel enough for all of their thoughts and their wonderful storytelling. Everyone, I hope you have a great week at the PGA Championship, and great success with PGA HOPE moving forward. Thank you so much for all of your contributions and everything you do.
Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
It is our pleasure entirely. So, you know, what a special day. We got to hear so many great stories. I love the thought of PGA HOPE assisting in the mission to help veterans return to civilian life with as smooth a transition that is possible. Every story is different, but every story needs to be heard and needs to be assisted if that is the case. You know, from Billy Hurley III's success, climbing all the way into the PGA Tour winner's circle, sometimes just climbing out of a bad situation and getting into some fresh air and making some friends who share, if not an identical history, certainly one that has been down a similar path with their military life. There is so much that you can take advantage of in this program, PGA HOPE. So we heavily encourage you to get involved as a civilian so you can help make a difference in the lives of these veterans, these military members and family members. And also, if you are a veteran in need of what this program has to offer, please reach out and let them know that you'd like to participate. And one other note, don't forget to catch the airing of the PGA HOPE special on CBS this Saturday at 2 Eastern. It's a full hour program dedicated to PGA HOPE as it leads into the third round of the AT&T Byron Nelson. If you miss Saturday's PGA HOPE, don't worry. You can catch the re-airings on CBS Sports Network. You can watch it again May 24th at 9 Eastern, May 26th at 7 Eastern, and also on May 31st at 9 Eastern, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Yes, we have you completely covered. This is important information, and these programs are critical in helping veterans readjust to civilian life. We owe a particular thank you to our panel and everyone who works with them on this incredible mission. Also, we'd like to thank the PGA Tour for their video support today, the ViacomCBS Veterans Network, and the PGA of America, of course, with its PGA Reach program for the dedication to PGA HOPE. So much great work being done. I'm Kelly Tilghman. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you. And a reminder, visit pgahope.org to learn more. And I want to personally thank you for watching and for hopefully becoming a part of this wonderful movement. Take care.